Echoes of the Fox, a Halo/Naruto crossover. Chapter 2: The Village That Burns and Rebuilds. The Anbu found him first. Three of them materialized from the smoke at the tree line, white masks, dark clothes, hands already moving through signs John didn't recognize. They were fast, not Spartan fast, but close enough that he marked them immediately as the highest threat tier in the area. He stopped walking and held the baby away from his body slightly. A deliberate gesture. I am carrying something fragile. I know it. You know it. Let's not do anything that makes this worse. The leading Anbu, in a cat mask, a woman by her build, held position 6 meters out. Her hand hovered near a blade. Her eyes went from John's visor to the child and back again. A standoff. John was good at standoffs.
Cortana.
40 seconds more, and I can give you basic vocabulary. 90 for functional sentences.
Make it 30.
I'm working.
The cat-masked woman said something sharp and short, a command. John's HUD flagged her vocal stress patterns as high alert, but not attack imminent. She was afraid, he assessed, but she was also a professional. He respected that. He waited.
Okay. Rough translation of what she said. Identify yourself and set down the Hokage's son.
So they knew the child. Good. That simplified things.
John tried to recall the phonemes Cortana had been drilling into his audio buffer for the last 90 seconds of his walk.
I am not your enemy.
He said carefully. The accent was atrocious. He knew it.
The boy is unharmed. His father
He paused. Cortana fed him the word.
is dead. His mother also. I am sorry.
Silence from all three Anbu. The cat-masked woman took a step forward, then another. She stopped 2 meters out and looked up at his visor, really looked, cataloging, the way a soldier learns to read threat from shape alone. He saw the moment she decided, not that he wasn't dangerous, he clearly was, but that he was telling the truth. She reached up and removed her mask. She was young, younger than she moved. Dark eyes, the kind that had already seen too much. She held out her arms for the child. John transferred Naruto with the same care he would give a piece of ordnance he wasn't sure about. The boy had stopped crying somewhere on the walk down from the ridge. He was asleep now, one tiny fist pressed against his cheek, entirely unconcerned with the apocalypse that had attended his birth.
He's going to be trouble.
Cortana observed privately. John almost smiled. They brought him to the Hokage. The village was in the ragged tail end of disaster, fires being beaten back, medics moving through streets with the practiced efficiency of people who had protocols for this, which meant it had happened before. Not this exactly, but something like this. Enough times that the system still functioned even when the center had been torn out. John walked through it and said nothing. He had walked through worse. The sight of it still cost him something, the way it always did. Pressed down beneath the discipline Mendez had spent years installing.
Population estimate, pre-event. Somewhere between 20 and 50,000.
Cortana said quietly, only in his ear.
Casualty figures are going to be significant. The creature's path through the residential districts.
I saw.
I know.
The building they brought him to was the largest in the village, not a fortress, more like a cross between a command center and the town hall, the kind of architecture that said authority in a language older than any words. An old man met them in a long corridor, stocky, white robes, a hat that suggested rank rather than warmth. He had the eyes of someone who had been making impossible decisions for a very long time, and had made his peace with that fact. He looked at John the way the dying man in the yellow coat had looked at him, not with fear, with assessment.
He's saying, you are the one who struck the Ninetails.
Cortana's translation had the slight lag of real-time processing, her voice a murmur beneath the old man's words.
Not a question. He already knows.
John inclined his head. The old man spoke again, longer this time.
He says the Anbu observed the battle from the perimeter. They saw, his phrase is interesting, John. He says a giant of iron and fire running toward the Ninetails rather than away from it. He says the distraction you created gave the Fourth Hokage the seconds he needed to complete the sealing.
Another pause. The old man's voice dropped.
He says Minato, the fourth, is dead. That he died performing the technique. He says he is grateful, and that he does not know what you are.
John considered his answer.
Tell him that I'm a soldier, and that where I come from, you don't leave civilians in the path of something like that.
Cortana translated, slow and careful, each word checked twice. The old man was quiet for a moment. Then he said something brief, almost to himself.
He says, that is either the simplest and the most profound thing anyone has said to me in 30 years.
They gave him a room. It was clearly a storage room hastily emptied of scrolls, but it had a ceiling high enough that he didn't have to duck, which put it ahead of most places that had tried to accommodate him. Cortana pulled herself into the room's single oil lamp. The electromagnetic bleed from the flame was barely enough for her, but she managed, and they debriefed each other in the quiet while the village grieved outside.
Chakra.
John said. He had heard the word 17 times in the last 2 hours, in context that suggested it meant something fundamental.
Working theory. It's biological energy. Internal. These people have learned to manipulate it externally. The hand signs, the techniques I saw, what the fourth did at the end.
She paused.
John, what he did at the end, the sealing, he didn't kill the creature.
I know.
He put it inside the child.
Silence.
The baby has the nine tails sealed inside him.
Cortana continued. Her voice had the careful flatness she used when she was working through something she hadn't decided how to feel about yet.
The third Hokage, Sarutobi. I have his name now. He's already discussed this with his staff. There's disagreement about how to handle the boy. Some want to treat him as a weapon. Some want to treat him as a war orphan.
And the old man?
He wants to treat him as a child. He's outnumbered at the moment.
John was quiet for a long time. Outside, someone was crying. Far away, a bell was ringing in a slow, measured pattern he was beginning to understand as a death toll.
What are our options for getting home?
The silence before her answer told him everything.
The slip space event that brought us here was unlike anything in my database. I don't have a mechanism to replicate it. I don't have the Dawn's drive systems. Most of the engineering section is slag on that ridge. I can't even be certain this universe obeys the same physical laws that would make our technology work as intended. John, I think we're here.
For how long?
I don't know.
He absorbed that, set it aside in the place where he put things that couldn't be solved tonight.
Then we operate in the environment we have.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Another pause. Longer. When she spoke again, her voice was different, quieter, the way it got when she wasn't performing anything for anyone.
You know, most people would need more than 40 minutes to come to terms with being permanently displaced from their entire universe.
Most people weren't raised by Mendez.
She actually laughed. It was a small sound, surprise out of her, and John thought it might have been the best thing he'd heard since waking up. Sarutobi came back before dawn. He came alone this time, without the ambu, carrying 2 cups of something that steamed and smelled like tea. He set one on the floor in front of John, who was sitting with his back against the wall, armor still on, which Sarutobi did not comment on, and kept one for himself. He folded down onto a cushion with the practiced ease of a very old man who had learned not to let his body's complaints show on his face. They sat in companionable silence for a moment. The old man didn't seem to need to fill it. Then he spoke.
He's asking what you intend to do now. His exact words, a warrior without a war is a dangerous thing. A warrior without a home is worse. So I will ask directly, what do you want?
John thought about it, genuinely thought about it, the way he rarely had occasion to.
Tell him I want what I've always wanted, to protect people, and I want to know that the boy is all right.
Cortana translated. Sarutobi listened, his eyes on the steam rising from his cup. His response was long, measured. Cortana kept up.
He says, the boy will be declared an orphan. His name is Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, his mother's family name. to protect his connection to the Fourth. The village will know the Nine Tails is sealed inside him. Most will hate him for it, because most people, he says, are frightened and grief makes them cruel. He will grow up without parents, without family, possibly without friends. He will need someone.
Cortana stopped.
John!
I heard him.
He's not ordering you. He made that clear. He said he has no authority over what you are, no way to compel you, and that he wouldn't insult you by trying.
Outside, the death bell rang, and rang, and rang. John looked at the old man. The old man looked back, the particular patience of someone who had already made his own decision and was simply waiting to see if the universe would be kind enough to agree with it. John thought about a boy born into the middle of a war he didn't start. He thought about a girl named Parissa, and a lake, and a promise made by a 6-year-old who had meant it with everything he had. He thought about Sam, about what it meant to lose the people beside you and keep moving anyway. He stood up.
Tell him I said yes.